Hey guys, my name's Bianca. I am the founder of BIA Pathways and Bionomics, and the goal of my company is to bridge education, workforce, and economic development. I know that it doesn't sound super interesting. It's quasi-government, and but I do bring it up because it impacts you. It impacts your life. It impacts the quality of your life, and ultimately the community that you live in. I started this company because I used to work in workforce development at a workforce development board. And aside from realizing that these individuals that work there behind the scenes and implementing the programming and supporting those without jobs are superheroes, I still was able to see the cracks in the system. And they were so glaring to me that and I really couldn't do much from the inside, well, from my position on the inside, that I realized if I want to help as many people as possible in my life, I'm going to have to go at this on my own. So I left a very, very stable, very well-paying, very fulfilling job in my position at the workforce development board I was at and started my own companies to address this problem. And let me tell you, it's been an uphill battle, but I have started to make some progress. And I think that getting out of my comfort zone and starting a YouTube channel with a face and really just putting it out there is going to be the best and only way to really educate everybody about what we're really dealing with and how we can play our own part in making a difference, right? If there was something that we wanted to do to really make a difference in the quality of our lives, in the quality of our communities, it's truly at the foundation of workforce development and helping our labor force in becoming a thriving community, a thriving population. Workforce is problematic because workforce development is problematic, I believe, because there's billions that have been invested on an annual basis to these agencies, to different nonprofits trying to make a difference. The thing is, what I've noticed, the big hole, is that these programs, as great as they are, as wonderful as the trainers are, as awesome as the employers are that are supporting with jobs, it misses the mark on one of the most foundational aspects of well-being with a human being. And that is the foundation of safety. Workforce development invests billions of dollars every year to all communities with a particular focus on underserved communities. And when you're working with underserved communities, we're talking justice involved, foster kids, foster youth, domestic violence victims, individuals with no education, individuals that don't know English. I mean, we're talking veterans, all sorts of populations that are dealing with some sort of nervous system dysregulation because of their environment and their circumstances. They're in survival mode and scarcity mode, and when this is not addressed at the onset of a training, and the amygdala part of the brain is in full force, blinking red. When that's on, the other parts of the brain aren't working. They're offline. So retention of these programs is very challenging. You either see people fall off because they don't believe in themselves or because of self-sabotage because they're in survival. And there's all sorts of maladaptive mechanisms going on. There isn't actual learning happening in many cases because that part of the brain just is not able to retain information long term. There is if they get to the end of the program and training and they even get a job retention is a problem because by the time they get their first paycheck, cool, my first rung of the Maslow hierarchy of needs is met. I have shelter, food, water, and I don't need to worry about it until this runs out. So there isn't proper judgment happening because it's the amygdala. Just we're surviving. So they end up not going back to work, you know, and it's just a perpetual cycle. And it's very easy to say that people are lazy, or people don't care, or people are not committed, or people aren't disciplined. I hear it all the time in this industry, but coming from a neurobiological, psychological perspective, and some of what I studied at the beginning of college, there has to be a level of empathy combined with intellect and emotional intelligence here in realizing what these individuals' limits are when it comes to neurobiological capacity. And if we were to address that first layer before really investing these billions of dollars into technical skills training, hard skills training, I would guarantee, I would put my everything that I own and everything that I have on this guarantee that performance would triple, that economies would flourish, that employers would... Oh, there goes Alexa.
Don't forget to take out your trash cans.
Don't forget to take out my trash. Anyway, you would see a completely different world if we were to address nervous system dysregulation and psychological unsafety within their worlds, and stabilization, of course, in a lot of aspects of their lives before, right? And not to say that there aren't partnerships with nonprofits and other agencies with workforce boards that really do try to address it, but it's not something that you see consistently, and it shows in the performance outcomes. Now, it's not to even say that these training programs aren't being run by incredible superheroes in workforce development, or that the trainers aren't amazing at what they do. It's just you're up against a nervous system, and that is 95% subconscious parts of individuals that even they can't control themselves. What makes us think that a training program in a classroom, standing in front of a classroom, is going to affect or influence that if they don't even have the self-control over it? And you might have some success, you might have temporary success, but it's not going to be long-term success, and it's going to be a perpetual cycle of poverty, a perpetual cycle of crime. I mean, everything, name it. It's not that workforce development isn't necessary or important, it's that there needs to be some shifts in what's happening and how those dollars are being invested. Where I come in is I'm working on infiltrating the education side of things. If we can nip it in the younger generations, aside from addressing the nervous system, understanding the nervous system of the young generation coming into the workforce, or post-secondary education grads going into the workforce, if we can understand, address, and teach them how to regulate, how to feel safe, and connect that with purpose and self-discovery, and really ensure that they know themselves and that they attribute their skills and their better parts, their strengths, into a career that aligns, that they love, then we start to source from not only a regulated nervous system, but that system is going to allow us to pull from the intrinsic motivation, because that part of the brain will be online and available when the amygdala is turned off. It seems like a pretty simple solution, right? But if it was, we'd be doing it. And I'm working on jumping into the education sector and educating, if not just counselors and principals, educating families, and really trying to get the word out about how important this is when it comes to connecting the dots. Because a happy group of Gen Zs and Generation Alphas is going to make a happy workforce, which in turn will make a happy economy, a thriving, prosperous economy. So this is my intro video. I will be updating this channel with the trends, with everything going on in workforce, in the economy, in education, in AI, and that's a big one too. But I am going to be the advocate for the tool. It's not going to be something that just takes everything from us. It's actually a tool that I feel is going to help us evolve and really contribute to the advancement of our society. And yeah, I just, there's so much to talk about, and so many solutions to propose, and I want to hear back from everybody else and what they're seeing and what they're going through. I'm just one person in one community. I look at data from a very empirical side of things, and maybe what I'm reading in headlines, what I'm seeing in trends. But if I could get some real human stories from you all to let me know what's happening in your worlds, then we can all work together as a team to make this cohesion happen. So thanks for joining, and please subscribe. I will see you soon.